second. Before I move to Kel, I just want to ask you one last question, V, about something you said on about the 35th minute of the show. You said that Pep has made these players great, implying that they're maybe not great players, but Pep has made them great. And I'm asking for that because when it comes to some of your players and conversations about best centre-backs in Prem history, best strikers, best midfielders, if you're stating that they're not that good, but the system makes them better, is that not taken away from their legacy? And the second part of the question I have for you is, you also then said that without the right players, Pep's system collapses. Is that not a problem again for Pep's legacy conversations when you say that he can only make his system work with the right type of player? And if one or two are missing, Pep's system ends up with one win in 12 games. Is that what you're saying? Or could you, someone could interpret it that way. So could you expand on them for me, please?
Yeah, of course. So first I was addressing Mo, as Mo was speaking about the quality of players and what Pep's been able to do. So in a way, I think it was more propping up Pep's madness and what he's been able to do over the years, and also raising the level across the board of the players. Obviously, we have some world-class players across the board. We have a few. We've had some that have been able to do their thing, but overall, no one overly rated Akanji. No one really said Ake was going to be that guy, but Pep was able to get them at a high level, especially in our trouble season. When you look at a player when I talk about available players or players being available, we played this game without a Ruben Diaz, and he's a difference maker for us. We had to play an incomplete game with a John Stones, and no, John Stones may not be world class, but he had a purple patch world class season with regards to our trouble and the inverted instructions that he gave them. I'm just trying to point out, we don't have world class players in every position, but when Pep is able to get the best out of these players, it looks like that. And it looked like that for a very consistent run.
And I understand that. What I would say about what you just said there about Ruben Diaz, though, Ruben Diaz played against Man United, and you had the same problems in that game. And so one thing I would say to a lot of City fans is, barring Rodri, who's obviously missing this whole majority of this season, I remember. When Diaz is back, we'll be okay. Diaz comes back, and then you're still not winning those games. And then he goes. I don't think it's about one player. I think it's a much wider issue. Kel, just over to you. What was your thoughts on today? Obviously, a match that you kind of need to win every single game now, but it's a game that could see you drop as low as 9th in the table by the end of this weekend.
Well, that was a rough one for me. I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to watch that BS. Yeah. I just don't see anybody trying right now. I can't think of one player in that game who really stepped up and showed me effort. Show me a great tackle, show me a great clearance, show me a foul that shows you mean business. Just show me a great pass that breaks the lines. Something. I didn't see that from anybody. I thought everybody looked like a passenger today, and that's kind of been the theme of this run. It's just too many passengers. There's nobody willing to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. This is the kind of game last year that Phil Foden would have done that too. And yes, that was lovely for him to score at the very end. But otherwise, I don't think he made an impact in the game whatsoever. And I don't see anybody I just need more effort. I can handle losing. That's fine. But
can I ask you a question, Kel, on that? What do you think is leading to that? I mean, the commentators here were alluding to something similar, that they just look half a yard off the pace. They're not going like Matty Cash today. He probably could have got booked a little bit earlier. But what he was doing to Jack Grealish was a demonstration of fight and determination. I mean, could it just maybe you need some of your players to be a little bit nastier, show they care, run through a brick wall? What do you think's stopping them from doing that?
I just think they're a bunch of squad players for the most part. I mean, if you're thinking of our ideal 11, how many of those players are you actually starting? Not very many. Probably Haaland. You'll start Yoshko. You'll start Kanji.
But then who's your wingers?
I don't know if you're going to start any of those people.
But who are your wingers then? Just if you're saying then, who are your starting wingers then that are fully fit?
I guess you could put maybe in our best 11 it's Savio. I don't even know. Our wingers are kind of a disaster right now. Jack's not performing. Doku's very inconsistent. But Bernardo looks completely shot. I haven't seen Bernardo has been a gripe of mine for a long time. I literally don't remember the last time he had a good game this season or last season. I'd have to go all the way back to that Real Madrid game.
Just going back to V's point, so sorry just to ask a question for these guys, but when you guys say these players aren't like scuffing the neck and like grabbing the game just to understand, hey, I'm here. Like Haaland, when he was at Dortmund and Salzburg, would be able to drop back. Why is he not taking the initiative? Is this like a Pep? Like, is this Pep just telling him wait there for a cross to come in that's not accurate from Grealish or Savinho or Doku because they can't cross?
Well,
Like, so like
I think Pep is telling Haaland, listen, your quality is in the 18-yard box. I don't want you at the halfway mark. I don't want you dropping back. We have enough quality, or we'll have possession to get the ball to you. You're not best used there. I think that's what he's telling him.
Understood. But then just the right at the start of the second half, that Grealish cross to Guardiola that nearly missed.
Yeah.
Why is Haaland letting him make that run, and why is Guardiola making that run instead of Haaland when he was on the top of the 18 and not making that run for that ball? Why did he not see Grealish cut back on top of the 18 to cut it back, and why would he not make a run?
Yeah, but if you look at that play, both of them would have had the chance. It would have depended on where Grealish put that cross, because Haaland was actually in position to make a header himself. I think again. Now I hear what you're saying.
It's to see it from a rival. Obviously, I can see how you guys think of the system, but right now, I am very understanding of what Pep is doing. Is he's going into a system now with his injuries and what's going on with not having a Rodri, of what his job is to start the attack and make that smart foul to then start the defense if he needs to, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he's lacking is an actual out and out DM.
Yeah.
But you can clearly see when he doesn't see the system, he goes in with one way and he says, if it's not going to work, we're going to try and try again. And it hasn't worked in 13 games. Maybe try at least go on a counter. You have speed and you guys aren't playing on counters at all. It's just like as you can see, rivals, we're not just here to bash you. We're Pep.
No.
In my life, like I grew up during Sir Alex. It's just the issue is it's hard to see this greatest manager of my era to do this because it's just wow, like you're not having any other ideas. It's just
I see.
I'm going to try and play possession, but he can't do it.
I get really frustrated when I hear some say that Pep's out of ideas because, and again, I don't geek out. I don't nerd out with regards to going to the stats, see how many different starting 11s Pep's done or how many changes, but I'm sure the number's ridiculously high. He's not fielding the same 11. He's not actually giving them the same formations often. Now, if you want to say we see the same thing with regards to how we hold possession, yeah, philosophy, that's the philosophy over at Pep and City. We hold possession, and that's pretty much, maybe we're a little too slow with what we do in attack. But what he's tried to do with different players, different instructions, he's clearly trying to find a solution without the players that have been in, out at times. And it's frustrating as a City fan, or even maybe some of you rivals that have said, like, this is the guy, what's happening over here. I've also looked at some games where I'm like, you know what, Pep, that wasn't on you. I had some player mistakes that have me yelling and losing my voice. So some games haven't all been Pep.
That was mistakes.
Yeah, big